Welcome back to Around the Block Volleyball. Today we are continuing our AAPI Heritage Month series, talking to Jaime from the New York Vikings. Thank you, Jaime, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Super excited to have you here. And first thing, could you please introduce yourself and kind of the New York Vikings and what role you have in the organization?
My name is Jaime Lee. I am the New York Vikings president and women's director. Um, I have been with the Vikings for about 15, 16 years, and I'm having so much fun with this and can't wait to see what's in the future for us.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, love what you guys are doing. Super excited. And I guess to intro you a little bit more, you are the setter for the New York Vikings main A team. So
Hey.
got to make sure we have that in there. Let everyone know your playing status as well. So,
Thanks. Trying
yep.
to pass it off because, gotta get in the younger generation and also gotta give them a chance.
Once everyone gets out of college and everything like that, you'll have some
Yeah.
people locked in.
Yep.
All right. So our first question is, could you tell us about the women's side of 9Man and how it got started and why it doesn't have kind of the same rule set and is more just like traditional sixes?
We mostly play sixes just because back then when 9 men started, it was only for the men. When it did first start 9 man here, there wasn't anything for women until I want to say maybe uh 40 years ago, 45,
Ooh, yeah.
50.
Mhm.
And so we've only played sixes and we haven't really branched out into 9 man. We do have like exhibitions once in a while. The last
Mhm.
time there was an exhibition was down in Florida, Fort Lauderdale. Boston was hosting that tournament. At Boston Volleyball Festival, they did do a women's 9 man exhibition match, which was pretty cool. I didn't get to see it. Um, I had a couple of friends in it. I was jealous that I didn't get to see it, but yeah,
That does sound pretty cool then. Dang.
yeah.
That's super interesting. Do you know why it ended up that way, or is just sixes was more regular, popular at the time, so you guys just continued with that?
Yeah, sixes were just more popular for us. It was easier for us. Getting 9 women on the court is a little bit more difficult.
Mhm.
It's also a lot more physical.
Yeah.
And 9 man, you have you could do have six blockers up there, and it's it's a little scary to watch that, but watching the guys do it is a lot of fun.
Mhm.
But watching the women do it was pretty awesome too. So
Mhm.
I think if we do it more often and we get more exhibitions, I think it'll become more popular for us. But sixes traditionally is just it's a lot of fun because we get more touches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely like I think there's also a lot of women's teams nowadays as well, so a lot of good
Yeah.
practice for you guys.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've seen like a lot of especially like the Vikings, you guys have like a lot of younger teams where it kind of like actually does help the development of your players into like indoors, like clubs and
Yeah.
stuff.
So a lot of so we have next gen right now, which
Hmm.
I'm really excited to see them grow. Before that, we had I think they were called Teen Titans. So
Hmm.
it was a bunch of like the daughters, and watching them grow. And now they're all in college, and they're graduating college, which is scary to see because I feel old now watching them grow up, and they'll have jobs. But yeah, we have a strong developmental program, and most of these girls, they all play club, and they're getting better and better, and it's really cool to see that the sport is just growing exponentially.
Hmm.
And we want to take all of them, but we can't because we only have so many resources.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys already have like three, or you guys last year for sure, you guys had like three regular teams and then the
Hmm.
next gen team, and then you also had
Hmm.
like developmental things going on.
Yeah. So this year we also have three women's teams.
Mm.
We have Next Gen as our juniors teams. Sometimes they do practice with us. We scrimmage with them basically every Sunday. And yeah, and they're getting better and they can keep up.
Wow.
It's really fun. Yeah.
Mm. It's good practice for them. They get to play against the adults and they're keeping up. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
The new generation is built different for sure.
Absolutely. They have more opportunity and they're taking advantage of it as they should.
Yep. I guess kind of a related question would be like you said, Vikings has a pretty prominent presence in like the developmental side of like the women's 9-man section. And could you let us know like what kind of got that started for Vikings? Because I know a lot of other teams really aren't built as well as you guys are in that aspect.
Yeah. So a few of our coaches, they used to play for Vikings. A little history for me is my dad played for Vikings on the men's team with Brian's dad and also Albert Lee,
Mm,
who was the men's director. My aunt also played with on the women's team with Brian's mom. There's another like a whole slew of people who have played previously. So I got to play with I'm playing with their kids. And
mm,
then the generation in between us, the Soy, Jenny, Debbie, which is Brian's mom, they all had kids around the same time, and they all became friends, and they all started volleyball. They all became volleyball junkies, and they all wanted to play together. So we created a team for them. Um,
mm.
but like they all come from church or work friends or wherever they can into volleyball, they will grab and develop them because we're
Mm.
crazy.
So it's like one big networking web where you try and
Yes,
bring in as many
yes,
people as possible.
yes, yeah,
No, that's super awesome.
yeah.
And then I guess again going on this topic of developmental, do you guys have any like plans moving forward with the developmental process, trying to expand it in any way or bring it any more depth to it in any way?
I think as the kids get better, we do want to be able to hold more teams.
Mm,
Hardest part of holding more teams is resources, if people willing to
mhm,
coach,
mhm.
and also space. Space is the biggest thing right now because we've had a lot of parks where there's no more volleyball areas. It's turf
Yeah.
or it's something else, so it's space is hard. But
Mhm,
that's our biggest challenge in general. But yeah, we want to grow. We want to start them younger if we can.
mhm.
There are people who are looking out for more programs during the summer for their kids who are like 10 years old, 9,
Yeah.
even 8.
Mhm.
So if we can do that, we'll do it. But the biggest part is our biggest challenge are resources and space.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I forget which park it was, but one of the parks in the area used to have like more volleyball areas and it got taken down for like turf soccer or something like that, right?
Sewer Park, the tennis
Sewer Park.
courts.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Seward
Ah.
used to be like that was where the mini was at, right? Like that was the main
Yep.
spot.
Yep. Sewer tennis courts used to be where the the mini was. Before that was Columbus Park. I used to go there and watch when I was a lot younger, and there were
Hmm.
less teams, but um, it was pretty awesome to see right in the middle of Chinatown. Now
Mhm.
there's soccer. There's two nets. There no, sorry, there's one net, but
Mhm.
you can set up more nets.
Yeah. All that space.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. So, um, for the next question, we kind of wanted to ask a little bit about the cultural side of the women's 9-man aspect. If
Hmm.
there's any like differences between how the women like to run it or like just enjoy themselves versus how the men's kind of run it. It's a lot more intense with the men's, I know, like a lot of yelling and kind of weird stuff going on. But yeah, we just want to know a little bit how the women's go, or if it's kind of just similar and everything's integrated with each other, men's and women's.
Yeah, so I think it's still like just as competitive. I think it's just how we communicate, and also in general, and like how you communicate with others. Let me try and think some more. So we want to for the women's. I'm not. I'm not sure if it's the same for the men's. For the women's, we want to foster like making sure that the girls are included,
Mhm,
and give them resources and mentorships if possible. Like that's what the women's Vikings are about.
mhm,
We're not here for just volleyball. We're here to be mentors. We're here to support them. We're here to sometimes be their therapist if we need to.
mhm.
And it's just a big giant support system for them and for the community. It's always giving back. It's never for winning. It's always for the community.
Mhm. So it's really bigger than just volleyball with the Vikings there.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. It's
No,
like
that's
helping
really
them
cool.
professionally,
Mhm,
helping them grow as people in
mhm,
general. And it's fun to see how we've taken like so many people, and whether they stay or not, we still love them.
mhm.
They're always welcome back if they leave us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's really nice.
yeah,
And I guess kind of moving on to how kind of the women's and men's side interact with each other. Just yeah, just curious about how that goes on, or if there's any overlap. Like I know a lot of players do kind of like know each other between the men's and women's, and just how does that work out between the two cultures, I guess? Because you guys are playing completely separate games, I guess.
yeah. So like I'm still learning about 9 man. Every time I look at something, I'm like, is that legal? So, like we'll the women's, since we practice up top, we'll like glance down at the 9 man practice and be like,
Mhm.
What are they doing?" Or like so, and a lot of us will support them.
Mhm,
Brian has three sisters in the program, in the women's
mhm,
program, so we try to support him as well, and anyone else who's on the men's teams. But yeah, we're trying to become closer
mhm. Yeah,
because
definitely.
there is a small divide.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, it's gonna happen when you guys are
Yeah,
playing completely different things. You
different.
can't
Yeah,
even talk strategy with each other. So
no,
different.
it's very different. Yeah,
It's hard sometimes too. Like yeah, I try and watch some of the girls' games as well, but then sometimes at the tournaments, the timing and the schedules just don't work out,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
also sometimes not even on the same courts. They're like far
No,
away. It's sometimes it's hard, but
it's like
maybe try and get
especially the mini. It's just trying. It's like spreading further and further apart
yeah,
just because of space.
yeah,
It sucks,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember last year when I went to watch, I was trying to watch like a bunch of different teams. I was like, oh, I have to go to this park, then this park, and I got a lot of stuff in that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I guess back to the topic of community, I kind of wanted to ask if you guys are doing any other kind of community related things. Like you already mentioned, you guys kind of are therapists outside of volleyball, but just general community things, volleyball adjacent or not necessarily relating to the volleyball part.
Um, hmm. Not exclusively, but it's
Mhm,
more so like internally,
mhm,
more so with our players of just like professional help, advice,
mhm,
more so that way and not so much exclusive. We are looking for like how to reach out to the community,
mhm,
um, volunteering wise, and
mhm,
that's like I think that's where we lack in as
mhm,
opposed to like other organizations.
mhm.
So definitely working on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely a lot to manage. You guys are already managing
Yeah.
what, like six teams amongst both genders, and that's a lot of
Yes.
people. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And like most of us, we have full-time jobs on top of it. This is not our
Yeah.
full-time job. It's
Mhm,
something on the side that we love to do. It's a passion project.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Definitely fully for the love of the game and the culture as a whole.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And um forget if I think I might have asked something similar already, but do the Vikings have any big goals in general or things to look forward to this coming season or even further? I know I've talked to some of the A team players about really performing well this season and hopefully being one of the top New York teams. Any goals, aspirations for the organization?
We're so for us is trying to like really get into that top five for the mini
Mhm,
for us. Trying to break that ceiling. We've gotten to top eight,
mhm,
but top five is our big goal right now. I think we can do it this year based on the
mhm,
physicality and the talent that we have.
mhm,
Um, all three of our women's teams have so much potential
mhm.
that I have no doubts.
That's good. That's good to hear. I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm
yeah,
waiting to see a little bit more New York representation up in the
yeah,
top echelon of
yeah,
teams.
yeah. It's
So,
always those California and Toronto teams. They're getting
Yeah.
physical
mhm,
also, and it's just they're getting
mhm.
bigger. I'm just like, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, some of the teams I've
Yeah,
definitely seen where I'm like, oh, that's a lot of tall players they got.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But we're working on that.
All right, yeah, no, for sure. You guys got this one.
Hmm.
This is the year.
Going for it.
Let's go.
And then I think we just have one more main question for you, but it would be, what is the most fun part of nine man culture to you specifically?
Being in Chinatown and being around the community is the
Mhm,
best part. And seeing the girls every weekend, like
mhm,
just catching up. It's a sense of belonging
mhm,
in volleyball because
mhm.
as an Asian American outside of Chinatown, it's hard to fit in with everyone else.
Yeah.
So, like for like,
No, that's for real. It's
yeah.
tough.
And we create so many great friendships and longing friendships,
Mhm,
and we see some people have their kids and they grow up together,
mhm,
and they'll have kids and they'll grow up together. So it's a big cycle and it's pretty awesome.
mhm. Yeah, I
I'm just
think Brian
hoping.
told us about like second or third generations of
Yeah.
teams coming together.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we're hoping maybe the
No, that's
I'm
guys
hard
can
to
I'm
see.
hopefully
se
get there.
I'm definitely second generation. Brian's just second generation.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. And I
Hmm.
think that's the end of our main portion of the interview. But now we have our main thing where we do a lot of these like TikTok shorts games, and Michael will be taking the lead on that one.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so you can just have fun with it. Okay. But we'll start with the first one. It'll just be like cities, and you can kind of
Okay.
rank them based off of, maybe the women's culture or the teams, kind of however you want
Okay.
to kind of interpret it.
Yeah.
And then one is the best one, will be the lowest, but not necessarily like the worst one.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
bad. They're not bad
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'll get started. So, Jamie, blind rank these 9-man teams based off of their women's culture or teams. So, the first one that we have is going to be Philadelphia.
I want to give them four. They do run the Philly Mini, and
Mhm.
they do a lot of mentorship for their girls, and they're trying to develop them and be better.
Mhm.
I would say, from what I've watched, there is definitely a little bit of a rivalry going on.
Yeah.
So, it's understandable that they're at four. All right, and then the next one, we got San Francisco.
Ooh, two. Just
Mm.
because of how physical and they're so disciplined out there. Um, and volleyball is just huge out in California.
Yeah.
Their culture is different from ours.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's very different. I can't compare.
All right, so that's 2 and 4. Next, we have Toronto.
Toronto, I'm gonna give them a three. Same thing as California, San Francisco. They're physical, they're disciplined, um, and they have great food.
Oh.
That's a big plus.
The big plus.
All right, and then last is 1 and 5 here, and next we have New York City.
One,
Oh
clear
Yeah.
yeah.
number one. No question.
Yep.
I don't have to explain myself. We are from New York. We are New York.
Oh yeah.
We are number one.
Let's go.
And then that means at number five, which is pretty funny, we have Boston.
Oh, heartbreak. I don't want to rate anyone number five or be last.
That's okay. There's always like the Boston New York rivalry, so that's always there.
Yeah, yes, there is
Mhm.
that rivalry. We'll continue that rivalry, but we still love them.
All right, and then the next one that we have is going to be more so just about the cities that have hosted nationals, and maybe
Hmm.
we can just you can just think about the best ones that you've been to, because I know I've only been to. I think I've only played in one, but I think I've seen like two because I saw the New York one.
Okay, okay.
But you can go
So I
give
don't
like
remember.
three or five, maybe however
Okay,
many.
I don't remember years from when these
Mm.
tournaments were. So we might have to look them up. Um,
Yeah.
one of the best ones was Washington D.C., where we played on Pennsylvania Avenue and our straight shot of the view of the White House, and it was
Whoa.
so cool. I still have a picture of it of us playing on the streets. And that was awesome to see and have
Mm.
that feeling of playing on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to our New York Nationals
Yes, Javits
being in Jacob
Center.
Javits Center. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
No, that's gonna be sick.
Uh, what's one that was fun? Last year in San Francisco was fun. We haven't been to San Francisco in that was my actually my first San Francisco tournament. I've done the
Mm.
circuit for probably three or four cycles, and
Hmm.
that was my first San Francisco one.
Ooh.
Mm.
What's another one? Baltimore was fun. That
Yeah.
was Maryland, oh no, DC, hosting that. We also got a food truck festival, mini food truck festival
Yeah.
that they ran,
Ooh.
and that was fun. That was cool. It was something different. There was concert, there was announcement, dragon dance. I mean, lion dance, sorry. And there was all kinds of food out there with options. It was walking around. Got to go onto the not go on the baseball field, but got to see the baseball field. And that was cool. Camden Yards. Was
Yeah.
it Camden Yards? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Right. It was the
Is it
Baltimore
Camden?
Orioles. Like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Any Toronto tournament is fun just because of the food in the area. Just walk everywhere and the food is so good.
Mm.
It's hard to beat.
All right, then I'll
Definitely an
challenge you with just
enjoyable one.
one quick mini question would be New York City Chinatown food versus Toronto Chinatown food.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's gonna have to be New York. New York. I know it's I have the, like I can't justify it too much because I haven't had too much Toronto food,
Mhm.
even though it's
But it's
so
still good
good.
there. Mhm.
It's still good there. Yeah.
Mm.
But I had to go with New York because I'm more familiar with it
Mhm.
and I know where everything is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That does help a lot.
Yeah. Know
Yeah,
all the spots. That makes it easier.
yeah, yep.
All right. And then the last one here is going to be it's going to be like blind ranking again, and it's just going to be kind of on different foods, maybe like a post game
Okay.
meal. I mean, we just went to one like 2 weeks ago. We went to Boost together, so we can
Yeah.
just. So we got some of those. It'll range though. It won't just be like Chinese food.
Okay.
Okay, so blind rank these Asian foods based on how good they would be as a post game meal. And then first we got hot pot.
Hot pot. That's yeah. That's like middle of a tournament five, just because every time we go hot pot, we're all sweating. We
That-
shower and then we're sweaty again, and then shower again.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
great, but was
Yeah, food is gonna be good, but yeah, you definitely just
yeah,
feel
yeah.
nasty.
Regardless, food is gonna be good. Yeah.
All right, and then next is just gonna be more like a full traditional like Chinese banquet meal. I think we definitely had a bunch of those.
Mm-hmm. Um, I would put that in the middle of three. It's still good. Doesn't hit as much, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No,
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
feel you on that.
It's a little bit better than a hot pot. You don't have to cook your food.
True, true. You're already tired from the tournament. You don't want to be doing all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, then the next one will be Korean barbecue.
Speaking of
Ooh.
cooking your food,
Yeah, yeah.
I've never had Korean barbecue after uh volleyball.
Mm,
I'll give that a
mm,
four,
mhm,
I guess.
that's
that's
fair. That's
fair. I
fair.
mean, again, the whole cooking, you have to cook your own food
Yeah.
thing.
It's
Yeah, I'm
hot.
tired. I don't want to
Yeah.
cook. I don't want to cook my food. And then you smell again afterwards. I guess
Yeah,
you're
true,
already
true.
you're already stinky. You might as well stink some more. It's not stinky. It's just the grill smell. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then the last two here is gonna be your one and two, and then the next one you have is wonton noodle soup.
Two. That's a
Save that
two.
number one.
It's yeah. It's a good um meal after the first outdoor practice, just because it's still a little chilly out there and
Mhm.
not quite hot yet. So it's still good for noodle soup, but not in the middle of summer.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I
Yeah,
do have it sometimes. Sometimes I do
Yeah.
have it in the middle of
yeah.
summer just
It's got to be
because
like a
I
good
crave it.
AC, good AC. It's
Yeah.
cool in the restaurant, and then maybe you can have noodle soup,
Yep.
and it's okay.
Yep.
Okay, well that leaves the number one spot, and then it's actually gonna be sushi. I don't know if you've had sushi
Oh,
post
I've
game.
had sushi after a tournament. So it's so much. It's sometimes it's so much better because you're so hungry, and everything tastes better when you're hungry.
Mhm. That's the best sushi you've ever had is right after a tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
All
a
right.
pretty good
Well,
list.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
pretty good list.
Thanks for those picks.
Yeah, we got
Those
you.
are
We
hard
Yeah.
got you.
picks. Those are hard picks.
We didn't give you anything crazy bad, at least.
Yeah.
You could have just
Yeah.
mixed in something crazy,
I don't know
awful.
what would be crazy. I don't know what would be crazy or bad.
Well, it's funny. We threw in boba tea for Brian for like a pregame
Yeah, they just
thing,
Oh,
tossed in like a boba drink. That's your
whoa, that'd
meal.
be number one.
and he put it at five, and he was like, "Oh, because we're lactose, maybe, the caffeine."
No, no, you gotta have the boba. You gotta have the boba.
That's the difference
You,
between the men and the women's side right
yeah,
Yeah,
there.
you can't
yeah.
not have the boba. The boba and the smoothies are just
Yeah,
Mhm.
true, true.
yeah.
Yeah, smoothies. If they were in here, that'd actually be just like one for sure. That,
Oh, yeah.
that's like S tier right there.
Yep. Yep.
All right, I think that does it for all of our questions and I guess the full interview episode for us. So thank you
Cool.
again so much for coming on and talking to us about the 9 men women's side.
No, thanks for having me. This is fun. I'm glad you guys are doing this. This is awesome.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks for coming
And I
on.
guess our last thing would be if you have anything that you want to plug for yourself or the Vikings, if you want to talk about anything like your social media handles, anything like that, just let us know here.
You can follow us on Instagram at New York Vikings official.
Mhm.
We're all over there. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.